running backs and wide receivers that all have similar numbers and production and impact to other people at their positions throughout the league, where it's just, there's no clear separation. Rob Gronkowski is going to have 10 touchdowns and 800 yards more than the second place tight end at those statistical categories. His team's going to win a lot of games because of it. And he's also going to have numbers that are as good or better than people from the wide receiver position and the running back position. So I think all those things factored in. I think Rob Gronkowski is my odds-on favorite pick for Offensive Player of the Year. And then when it comes to MVP, the big award, I've got 2 names written down. That's it. And they're both quarterbacks, obviously. I've got Aaron Rodgers and Andrew Luck. And with the best record in football and the best statistics that any quarterback's going to put up this year, and the most talent that any quarterback in the league's got, and the best future that any quarterback in the league has ever had, Andrew Luck will win his first regular season NFL MVP award this season. Booyah! There you go. That is your football full, in-depth, upcoming season preview. And we got just about 15 minutes of show here left, give or take a few minutes to squeeze in everything else. Woo! I hope you like football. I hope you've enjoyed the last hour and 45 minutes. Again, this is Balls Deep Sports Talk on WNLMradio.com. Also available on the Spreaker app, the TuneIn app, SoundCloud, and YouTube 24/7, 365 on all of those platforms. Wow, all right, man, if that didn't overdose you on football, hey, I gave it my best shot. I tried. Sorry. But we got to get to some other topics here before I got to shut her down and own everybody in my fantasy football drafts. All right. Oh, boy. Just when I thought I was done talking football, I realized there's more football on my sheet that I didn't talk yet. College football. So last week, Thursday, my Minnesota Gophers started off the season against number 2 ranked TCU. We lost 23-17, and we went from unranked now to number 25 in the top 25, and the TCU Texas Christian Bullfrogs, or whatever the heck they're, Horn Dogs, I don't know, something like that. Texas Christian University, they dropped to like number 4 or 5, something like that. So they won, we lost, we went up, they went down. Figure that out. But anyway, the game wasn't quite as close as the end score was, 23-17, although the Gophers did have the ball with just over 30 seconds to go, no timeouts. But, a chance to win the game. Not when you got Leidner as your quarterback. I mentioned last week how the Gophers have just never had a quarterback for a long time that was really anything. We usually get the prototypical college quarterback types who are, read option, run and gun, as much of a runner as a thrower type of guy. Leidner is not that. He is more, when it comes to the eyeball test, he is more your, NFL prospect type of quarterback. However, he doesn't really seem to possess, any of the skill required. He's got the size, but he doesn't throw a good ball at all. He throws ducks, and he doesn't seem to have the arm strength that would go with a kid as big and fit as he is. He doesn't make accurate, timely decisions with the football. He's turnover prone. He doesn't have any moxie. He doesn't have that, he doesn't have that Phillip Rivers it factor, where even if he's, sucked for the entire game, if he's got the ball with 1 minute and 10 seconds to go, you feel like he can pull it out of his keister, and win you the game at least. He doesn't have that moxie. He doesn't have that it. But you never know. He is a college kid as well. And like I said, to the eyeball test, physically, he's, the tools should be there. So, we'll just have to wait and see with more experience and with hopefully better coaching that he can get it figured out. Because if he doesn't, it's going to be a disheartening, disappointing season for the Gophers. That's not to say it's going to be a bad season but it's going to be disappointing because our defense is without question a top 25 team defense in the country. Our offense is not. If we could simply get our running game on offense to being a top 25 running game, and then get our passing game to simply be a passing game that doesn't turn the ball over and make big costly errors that lose you the game, we could have a great season where we're somewhere between 1 and 3 losses is all. But if we're reliant on the passing game to win games at any point in this college football season, then the Gophers, I don't think that's going to happen. They don't got it. So that was some Gophers news. Not sure who they play this week. Pretty sure it's an easier opponent. Well, it's got to be. It was like duh, of course. Thanks, Captain Obvious. But I had too much NFL to preview. But so next week we'll try and get back more into a little bit of equal time for college football and pro football. But so that's the current state of the Gophers right now, and they are, like I said, now your 25th ranked team in college football. Some great games that happened this last week in college football, just some highlight games, was the Alabama game versus Wisconsin. Alabama, of course, won that. Thank you, Alabama. One of the few times I will cheer for them. But that's a game with that was two good schools playing football. And then we also had the Ohio State game. That was a really great game to watch. Well, unless you're, rooting for the downfall of Ohio State, then it was a horrible game to watch. But, just from a casual football fan standpoint, they look really tough and really worthy of being the defending champs. And, they're the man until someone beats the man, as Ric Flair says. Woo! So, and then, let's see. Oh, yeah, that was my favorite one that I watched. If you didn't see this, man, it was fantastic. Nebraska lost at home, their season opener at home, which they had won something like 29 of in a row, last 29 years, something like that. They lost it with 1 second left, literally 1 second left. BYU hikes the ball. Hail Mary, caught at the goal line, just barely over the goal line, touchdown, game over. BYU beats the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Amazing, phenomenal, great finish to week one. For a week one game already here in the college football season. Loving the college football season so far. Like I said, we'll try to get into more detail on college back next week, excuse me. But like I said, just so much pro football to discuss this week. All right, so now officially done with football totally, and we are moving on to, let's go to tennis with the U.S. Open. Serena Williams last night took on her sister Venus Williams in the quarterfinals, and Serena was victorious. So Serena is in the semifinals now. In her quest, she's only got 2 more victories to win the U.S. Open and complete her calendar Grand Slam, which again has not been done since Steffi Graf did it in 1988. All right, some other quarterfinals results that we got for you is 2-seed Halep was victorious over 20-seed Azarenka, and then we had the 5-seed Kvitova. I don't know how you pronounce that. Upset by the 26-seed Panetta. Again, these are all on the women's side. And then we had Serena, as I said, victorious over Venus. Interestingly enough, at least to me, Serena won the first set 6-2. Venus won the second set 6-1. Spanked her. Just spanked her. And then Serena, then they were both all in for that final set, and Serena won 6-3. That's, really actually fairly good and competitive, for what one may expect. And then unranked Vinci in the quarterfinals advanced over unranked Mladenovic. So that leaves your semifinals matchup on the women's side as 2-seed Halep versus 26-seed Panetta, and then 1-seed Serena Williams, obviously, versus unseeded Vinci. So looking really likely that we will get Serena Williams, number 1 seed, in the U.S. Open Championship versus the number 2 seed. So, by all measurable accounts on paper, the toughest challenge competition she could have to win this U.S. Open and complete this career calendar Grand Slam. I love that. Whether it happens or not, I love that the level of competition will not be any sort of asterisk. All right, and so then we get you caught up on the men's side yet as well. Not all of their quarterfinal matchups are done yet. However, we've got... Oh, no, wait, yep, they are. Excuse me, never mind. In quarterfinals match, that's right, I was watching this one yesterday, I think it was, but I did not... Yes, yesterday I was watching this one. I did not get to see the end of it. It was a crazy, awesome back-and-forth tennis match between ninth-seeded Cilic, or Kilic? I think it's Cilic. I'm not sure. And then the Frenchman, Tsonga. And Cilic... first off, Tsonga is ranked 19. Cilic is 9. Cilic won the first 2 sets 6-4, 6-4. Then Tsonga came back, won 6-3, 7-6 with a 7-3 tiebreaker set winner there. Then Cilic came back, won the final set, regained the momentum, 6-4. That was an awesome tennis match. Then we had Djokovic, the 1 seed, fairly easily getting rid of Mr. Lopez, the 18 seed. Djokovic won that 6-1, 3-6, 6-3, 7-6, 7-2 on that final tiebreaker. And then my one that I had an eye on from the beginning of the tournament, Wawrinka, the 5 seed, in straight sets, 6-4, 6-4, 6-0 over 15 seed Anderson. And then, of course, the ageless wonder. I mean, this guy's just class and grace and effortlessness all over the place. Roger Federer, still very much at the top of his game in the tennis world. The number 2 seed in the U.S. Open on the men's side advances in straight sets, 6-3, 6-3, 6-1 over 12 seed Gasquet. So that would make your semifinals being Djokovic versus Cilic, maybe? And Federer versus Wawrinka? I don't know. For some reason, I don't have the matchups. But either way, those 4 are in the semifinals. You've got your 4 semifinals contestants. And, outside of Andy Murray getting upset earlier on in the 4th round by Mr. Anderson, and Anderson was beat by Wawrinka, I don't know if that means anything. But but anyway, it's... you got 4 pretty dang good guys there at the top of their game in the tennis world, making up your semifinals in the U.S. Open. So check that out. If you're a tennis fan, should be 2 great matches on the men's side. And assuming that the 2 top seeds advance on the women's side to the championship, the women's championship should be the most watched tennis match in the history of American television. If you guys respect female sports athletics and the significance and the difficulty of the historical feat and accomplishment that Serena Williams is trying to achieve at this year's U.S. Open. So I hope I plugged that enough for you, Serena girl. You know I love you. I told you I would. Shout out. Much love. All right, so squeezing in everything else that we got into quickie format because I'm running out of time, as I always do. I'll never be early for anything. I'm late for everything. I always go over time. I can't shut up. It's just who I am. Deal with it, love it, hate it. Don't make no difference to me. All right, but so we move on to baseball. Twins still hanging in there. They lost last night to the Kansas City Royals. They won the first game against the Royals. Hopefully we can get 2 out of 3 here tonight. If not, do not fret. This is the hardest part of our schedule. The Twins have been playing really good ball. They've been managing to get 2 out of 3 of almost every series. And if we can do that, once we